Good morning, YouTube. So with today's video, I'm going to give you my top 5 Tommy Hilfiger fragrances for 2021. I haven't really talked about this brand all that much on my channel, and I'm going to try and change that a little bit. Tommy Hilfiger does some pretty good fragrances at a very reasonable price tag. I have talked about a few of these, and these ones that I'm going to be mentioning, I have reviewed a few, but not all of them. And I have not done a smell and rate on this brand, which I will be doing later today with the wife. So stay tuned for that, but let's just get it started. Fragrance number 1 is going to be Tommy Hilfiger TH Bold. This one here, even though it's marketed towards men, the guys out there, I think that this is really a unisex fragrance. So you're gonna get mandarin blossom, jasmine, there's some pomelo, some bergamot, there's also some tangerine, but also lavender, orange blossom, and vetiver. So this really is just a clean, fresh, out of the shower, soapy, white floral kind of fragrance. Very invigorating, very bright, very fresh. So you really can't go wrong with this one here. This one is more of a summertime, spring, summertime. I would say any time when it's hot, really. So if you live in a hot climate like Jamaica, or if you live in Brazil, this will do well all year round. The longevity, however, is not the best. I do get 3 to 5 hours, sometimes 6, depending on like the time of the year that I wear this. But this is more of a casual kind of fragrance. You can dress this one down to pretty much that's it. So this is a good white t-shirt and jeans kind of scent. It's good for school, and I do think that it's good enough for the office. I generally think that this brand is more so for the younger people out there, but a few other fragrances do have a bit of a mature feel to them, and they will be making this list as well, but this one here is ageless. I do think, however, that it might resonate a little bit more so with today's modern day gentleman, but you know, good scent, TH Bold at number 1. Fragrance number 2, this one does bring back a lot of memories. Like when I smell it or when I just hold it in my hands, it does bring back some memories of a trip that I took, because I ended up reviewing this very one in Hawaii. So Waikiki at the Hilton Resort. Man, that was such a great trip. First time going to Hawaii, and definitely not going to be the last. But fragrance number 2 is going to be Tommy Jeans. Normally when I think of Tommy Jeans, I don't think of the fragrance, I think of the actual denim wear. But this one here is just a very basic fragrance. You're gonna get grapefruit, mandarin, but also orange. There's just 3 notes. It's just a citrus aromatic bomb. It's very bright, it's fresh. There's a certain cleanliness to it, but it's a very invigorating scent that's pretty much just casual. It's ageless. I find that with these citrus fragrances, they're ageless. Someone in high school to a grandfather can wear it quite easily. For me, this is a great white t-shirt and jeans kind of fragrance. No pun intended, okay? I know I got these lame ass jokes, but that's what this fragrance really is. It's just a white t-shirt and jeans kind of scent. You could wear flip-flops and sandals and shorts to it. You can even wear this to work. It's just super inoffensive. It's not professional smelling at all, but sometimes you just want to smell fresh and clean, right? Longevity off this one, however, is not going to be the best. You're going to get about 3 to 5 hours. And just gotta put it out there, Tommy Hilfiger does get some flack and a little bit of criticism for lack of performance. But this one here, just citrus aromatic, it's not gonna last the longest, but 3 to 5 hours, I just reapply as the day goes by. Fragrance number 3, this one is, they say it's more of a summer kind of fragrance, but the note breakdown for me, I find is very heavy. This is more of a spring and fall kind of fragrance, but that's gonna be Freedom Sport. This is not your typical sports fragrance, however. Your typical sports fragrances are gonna have loads of citruses, kind of like this. You're gonna have ginger, mint, musk. This one here is very spicy. It's earthy. So what you're gonna get some lavender, some clary sage, some pepper, cinnamon, cardamom, and vetiver. So that's definitely not your typical sports fragrance. This one here I really do like. It comes across as masculine, and for some reason I do find that it comes across as a little bit more mature. So like someone in high school can rock it, don't get me wrong, but I just fine. Because of the note breakdown and the smell itself, it's just overloaded with spices and earthy tones of vetiver, and I'm sure that there's some woods to this one here. But it just comes across as like a 30-year-old or even like a 35-year-old person that would wear this. And sport fragrances are generally casual kind of fragrances. This, I think, is very professional. It's definitely a lot more professional than the original Sport itself, or sorry, Freedom. And that one is just super fresh. I have it here, so just got my fragrances ready, so when I do the smell right with the wife. But this just has a bit of a formal feel to it, which is really unusual. I do like it. So again, fall and springtime, longevity of this is 5 to 7 hours. Fragrance number 4, if I'm doing a top 5 Tommy fragrances, I have to have the original. So the original Tommy itself, which came out in 1995. They say that this one has been reformulated a few times. I'm not sure how true that is, but I can see it being reformulated because a lot of stuff has been changed over the years. But what you're gonna get: apple, mint, citruses, rose, lavender, cactus, and cotton flower. So this one here is a green, fresh, citrusy, lavender type of fragrance that does have that green component. So you're gonna get the mint, you're gonna get the cactus, which is kind of unusual. There is a little bit of musk to this one here. You're definitely gonna get the apple, and it does have like a slight powdery undertone during the dry down. Longevity of this one here is 5 to 6 hours, and this really is just an everyday fragrance. School, work, I think that an older man can rock it. And I do think that this fragrance might resonate a little bit more so with someone who is older, like my age. I'm 44, I'm Gen X. You know, like 1995, like for a lot of guys my age, we wore this back in the day. I personally did not. I wore like some really cheap fragrances, minus Ralph Lauren Polo Sport, which awesome fragrance. That's iconic for a lot of guys who grew up during that time as well. This fragrance and that Ralph Lauren, yeah, absolutely. Those are two iconic fragrances for Gen Xers. But this just might resonate a little bit more with the Gen X crowd than the millennials or even Gen Z. Because, you know, this fragrance is going to be older than some of well, it's definitely going to be older than the Gen Zers, and it might be like a little too dated for some of the millennials, which, you know, if that's the case, more for me and more for the Gen Xers. But longevity off this is 5 to 7 hours. This is more of a spring and summer kind of fragrance. Fragrance number 5, I was the initial hype man for this one here, and I believe, and I might be wrong, that I was the first to review it, but that's going to be Tommy Endless Blue. Looks are very deceiving when it comes to this one here. So you think that this is going to be a fresh, clean, blue fragrance for the summertime. Definitely not. It's like the extreme polar opposite. You're gonna get cardamom. There's definitely cognac or a boozy accord to this one. Rosemary and black pepper. The cardamom in this does add a warm, like a warm spice to it, but also a slight bit of sweetness. So cardamom can actually be used as an artificial sweetener. So if you're looking to lower your sugar intake, which I clearly need to do, cardamom is a great substitute for that. My wife tends to use it in cooking and in some of her teas as well. But loads of cardamom, pepper, there is a little bit of the rosemary, and lots of cognac. This is definitely not a spring or summer fragrance, yet some people think that it is. I find that it's going to be way too heavy. If you wear it in the summertime, then I think it's more of a summer night out fragrance. But this does have a little bit of class. I don't want to say it's a sophisticated, elegant kind of fragrance, but this can actually be worn to like a daytime or like a semi-formal event, suit and tie. You could dress it down, but I think that just because of the note breakdown and that it does have a little bit of sex appeal to it, I think that someone like, you have to have that sense of style, but this is like a daytime, like a daily wear fragrance. You could dress it to school, you could wear it to work. I think it's professional enough for the office, and it's a good night out fragrance. A lot of people have complained that they only get about like 3 to 5 hours with this one here. I get about 7 to 8, so definitely lasts longer on my skin. And when I generally do spray the fragrances, it's gonna be closer to the skin than most people, where they just like hold it up to here. I hold mine like this close. But yeah, longevity is definitely gonna vary, but for me, 7 to 8 hours, this is more of a fall, and I would say like a spring fragrance, but like a colder spring day, and when it's like when it's like the transition from winter to spring, when it's cool, but it gets a little bit warm, that's a good time for this one here. But yeah, definitely Endless Blue, sex appeal, it's definitely not a blue scent. Everyone, I just gave you my top 5 Tommy Hilfiger fragrances for the year of 2021. I could have made this a top 10, but I wanted to be honest and just kind of like give you guys a top 5, as I'm more familiar with these 5 fragrances than the other ones that I have in my collection. And I probably have between 12 and 15 Tommy scents. Alright, so any reviews that I've done from these, and the only one that I have not reviewed is the original. Surprised. I definitely am surprised by this one. But I'm gonna have to review this one before the end of the year. The reviews themselves, as usual, they will be in the description below. And if you wanna see some other top 5 brand fragrances, then please check out all 4 corners. And before you go, please make sure to give me one of these, as I would appreciate it, and it does help with the channel and the algorithms. YouTube algorithms, man, what a bitch. So guys, I thank you for your time, take care, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching, everyone.